720p, 30 FPS.
Yeah, boy. We're gonna talk about. I forgot to get my notes up again. I was too busy looking at that really crap shopping
I was gonna do that.
drive-through
I
thing.
mostly am angry enough about mine that I have everything remembered, but I do need to find stats for things.
I have
I don't have it memorized.
8 pages of info on mine.
You saw my notes. Half a page, bitch. Short and
I've got
sweet.
one page and then some on the back. But my handwriting's terrible, so you could probably condense that into about
Don't worry, I
three-quarters
have
of a
an angry
page.
rant prepared to make up for the actual lack of notes on mine.
I also
I
have
Oh,
an
that's
angry
fine.
rant
I'll
prepared.
join in.
We're opening up this one with an angry rant.
I have one too.
It's just the
But
therapy
nobody
episode.
told me about your one, so it's not on there. I'm sorry.
Right, I'm gonna get into it. So hello and welcome to Proof of Concept, the podcast about concept cars. I butchered that massively. You may
You
notice.
want to try that again?
No, I do not. We're doing it live. It's New York and it's Saturday night or something like that. I don't know. You might notice the podcast looks pretty now because I didn't do it. Abby, thank you. Oh yeah, I forgot that this is a certain episode. I have not done any of this, and this is the first time I've looked at this PowerPoint properly. So this is going to be a bit disjointed for a minute. I apologise. But
You
yeah.
have no idea what's to come, and I'm excited for that.
So
Yeah,
welcome.
I was brought in as a judge, but I last minute brought in my own car.
So I think we're all just gonna have to judge, but someone's gonna have to take score, and we'll figure out who wins the worst one. So we're having a bit of a change of format on the podcast now. So going off the episode 10, the van life one, I quite like the competition element. So apart from special episodes from now on, it's going to be we're all going to bring a concept each, and we're going to see who wins, because that's fun. Anyway, this week we're on about disappointing concept cars. So obviously we've only talked about theoretical concepts here, none that have ever been released and what have you. What about ones that have been released, but the concept was so much more interesting that it's depressing to think of what we actually got. And to talk about disappointing reveals, we've got myself in the top left-hand corner. Hi, that's me. I'm Alex. I'm speaking now. Dalen.
Dalen, I'm in the middle there.
Tyler, also in the same car in this photo, I'm realizing.
Yeah, that's the day I cut the floor out of Dalen's car.
Is this you Flintstoning it?
No, I had to weld the seat back in. That's after we lowered it. And then I look like a 2-year-old staring over the steering wheel.
Matthew.
Hi, I'm Matthew, and I'm in the bottom left in probably one of the worst pictures of me I've ever seen.
I quite like that. You look quite approachable, apart from the fact you also look like you tumped me in my MR2. And Abby, the imposed manager of the podcast.
Yeah, no, that's me in the bottom right corner, not left. Yeah, sorry, Matthew. I didn't actually have any pictures of you. Surprisingly, or unsurprisingly, would be a bit weird if I
I
did.
just like how there's somebody just like being thrown into the MR2 in the background. and we
That's
just
me.
don't.
That is me.
That's Alex.
Yep. If you watch the latest review up now on convertibles, it's a bit from that. So, now normally we
That's all
open
I had
these
to write
by
for.
me checking on what everyone else has gone up to in the week, but something happened this week and I'm pissed, so I need to have a go at the Elon Musk worshippers and that sort of thing. So yes, okay. So have you all seen this business about BMW having you subscribe to use heated seats?
Yes.
Yes. It's bullshit.
Yes. So to anyone who's watching and doesn't understand, BMW now are basically going to sell you a top spec car. No matter, you have no other choice. You have to buy the top trim, everything included on it. But you're not allowed to access any of the top trim bits that you have paid for and you own and are in your vehicle. You're not allowed to access them unless you pay a subscription service that lets you use the button.
Hang on. Let me stop you right there and tell you. Yeah, but
Oh,
the
Tyler,
heated
you've
seat
vanished.
element's already in the seat, and I can get a wiring diagram. I'm gonna have heated seats.
Well, this is the thing, right? Is for a start? I mean, you don't even need to go that far. If you want to, you can just get someone who's clever with a plug to go, blip, 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 and now you have access to the button. But it's the fact that tech bros.
Or
Then
just
you
wire
buy
it
the
to a switch.
warranty.
But the thing is, right, the tech bot bros and all that are arguing that this is the best thing ever because it means now that It means you can add heated seats to your car when you buy it second hand. And I'm like, yeah, but here's the thing: is you haven't added anything. You're not downloading heated seats. You're downloading the button. Ugh.
You wouldn't download a car.
But apparently you would download access to the. It's the stupidest. I think the best way I've described it was, imagine that you know those blank buttons you get in older cars. It's literally like,
yeah, they've learned it's cheaper to make one set of buttons and put them all there, but just don't turn the features on.
yeah. But these tech bros seem to think, but because it's on a screen, you've downloaded it. You've downloaded the physical part. You haven't paid for it. It's not included on the car until you download the physical part. It's.
Do you want to know the most interesting part? I don't know if you can see the notes that I've included with it, but it's £15 a month rolling. So if you want to pay £15 a month, you pay £15 a month. If you've only got the car on lease for a year, you can pay, I think it's like £150 for the year. And then if you've got the car on lease for 3 years, you can pay £250 for 3 years of heated seats. And then
alternatively,
yeah,
they can kiss my ass.
But if you want it unlimited, so if you can afford to buy the car outright and you're not sure how long you're going to keep it for and you've got money to burn, you can pay £350 to have unlimited access. But that's subject to whether the main dealer can actually do that or not. So they may not have the equipment to allow you to have unlimited access.
And by the way, that
case,
resets when you sell it to the next owner as well.
Does it?
Yeah, from what I've read.
Wow.
So what it is
you
rather
think
than
that's bad, but it's not nowhere near as bad as Tesla. Tesla's already implemented a system of you have to pay a subscription to access the higher band, the higher power band in their car.
That the £1,000 payoff to buy that one I can moderately understand because that's a one-off payment, and you basically it's basically like a chip tune. But at the same time, you're charging £1,000 to make a car do the thing it's capable of doing anyway from a factory, that's a bit crap. And then you reset it for the next
owner. That's like
owner.
buying a V8 and only allowing 6 of the cylinders to be used.
If you get a Hellcat, you get a red key and a black key. The red key is for 707 horsepower, and I think the black key is like limited to 500.
Yeah.
But they at least give you both the damn keys.
But what you got to do is you got to pay a button. You got to go onto your app, and then you got to spend £1,000, and then what they do is you download the red key, the physical red key. It's just because Tech Bros, if you can do anything through a screen, Tech Bros will think it's the best thing ever, and that's why the only reason they'll defend that is because you can do it through a screen. I bet you £1 million if you had to spend £1,000 and they'd had to bring you the key physically, they'd think it's the worst thing ever. But because Elon Musk put it through a screen, the Tech Bros are all about it. Oh, it's made me irrationally angry all week.
We don't like Tech Bros.
No, me neither.
But even then, the people who are in the tech community don't like Tech Bros either. So it's a mutual feeling, I think, for a lot of people. Dislike them and dislike the way things are going.
I just look at it as I got free heated seats. I just got to figure out how to wire them.
That's the thing is, do you remember when the Nissan GTR came out and it was all about how we have the hardest to crack ECU ever. No one can crack into this. No one can turn the GPS limiter off, and it took them 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's all I can think about with this, and I hope BMW loses billions on it, because this is such a shitty business practice.
Who was it that was trying to... Toyota, the remote start feature is also you have to pay for it, right? Like, you have the button on your fob or the ability to do it, but it's not supposed to work unless you pay them for the remote start.
Oh, that's crap. I know VW has a similar thing with voice activation. Thing is, if it's a software thing, I'm less annoyed at that. If you're just downloading software, then that's kind of, you're paying a bit extra to have that software installed. I'm not egreged at that particularly. That makes a semblance of sense to me, because that is effectively like buying, extra software. But it's when they're restricting you from using actual hardware that they've already installed and have in front of you. Like, I know a lot of car companies will do the thing where they put most of the optional extra stuff in the car. They just don't plug it in or anything like that because it's not included. Or like a lot of cars, they've got the wiring for heated seats, so they just don't have heated seats in them. But you've got the wiring there, so if you want to put the heated seats in, you just put heated seats in. But it's just
What you were saying about software as well, Tesla, all of their software updates are free, but if you don't want to put that software update on because it does something to your car you don't like, then you can no longer use Tesla chargers because the Tesla will lock you out of it.
I'm going to repeat the podcast's official stance is that Tesla is a sucky car company, potentially the worst car company, and it'll be the only car company that never gets covered on the podcast.
Unless it goes under.
Yes, in which case we will just have one that just laughs. Do you know they haven't made a single profit on cars, ever?
It would
To be fair,
surprise me.
we could talk about Tesla before Elon Musk got involved, because as much as people like to think that Elon Musk created it, he fucking came in way later than.
But
I
he came
Yeah,
like 10
but
minutes before the launch of the first of the Roadster, didn't he? He's like, hey, we're not making any money. Can you please come on and save our business?
I was gonna say,
Yeah, and when the
I
two
don't
guys
think
like
cars were in production yet when he came on, but they had already R&D'd the entire Roadster, which was an epic shit show too.
Yeah, it was two Silicon Valley guys really wanted to make an electric car because they believed in the technology, and like after doing so much work to it, Elon came on as an investor, and basically because he invested the most money, he wanted his name associated with the project. And when they went on and did an interview without him, he threw a hissy fit and basically used the board to kick them out of their own company.
Elon Musk's a dick. Do you know the interesting thing, actually?
He didn't even create PayPal.
Nope.
He created a company called X.com that because he had more money because he did a good deal in his youth. He was able to buy
do you know where he gets
PayPal.
his money from? His dad mined emeralds in apartheid.
No, actually, he got his money because he was able to sell a banking algorithm when he was young. He did get money from his father, but just not as much as you think.
The thing I find really funny as well is he got kicked out of PayPal because he was doing a really bad job of it. The other thing I find
funny
really
thing
funny
as well was he wanted to rename PayPal X.com so it still looked like his company was successful, even though it wasn't.
He's very good at buying companies and then just as long as he doesn't do it like SpaceX does fairly well because he's quite hands off from it, from what I can tell. Whereas Tesla, anytime he does something with Tesla, the stocks just immediately plummet. Do you also know
Heard the theory that he wanted nothing to do with Twitter and only used it as an excuse to sell a bunch of his stock while the market was hot, and then torpedoed the deal later so it wasn't suspicious that he sold all that stock off?
he's being sued for it now?
I say it hasn't been confirmed, but I heard that theory thrown out the other day.
I think we've gone way too off kilter now. I think.
I will just say to link it back into concept cars. So you know the Tesla Roadster was originally a Lotus Evora made electric. Did you know that Dodge also?
Thought it was an Elise.
No,
I thought
it was
it was
Evora.
based.
It was an Evora, the first one.
Okay, that makes sense. It makes more sense because the Evora's a bigger car, can handle.
Did you know that Dodge also made a concept version of a electric Lotus about a year afterwards? We'll have to cover that someday. Anyway, so now we've had the rant section. I'm up first. So this is my my hat in the ring for the most disappointing actual car that was brought out after the concept. So this.
Can I just say, is that you in the top left in that picture?
No, that's me when I start balding a bit more.
That is uncanny.
It's just a man with glasses. Come on. I know I have a generic face.
He's got the massive forehead as well.
Matthew, he's in the one that you submitted.
Cheers. Thanks, guys. Cheers. Right, so I'm going to carry on now because you're all being mean to me again. This was named Project, and this is a very German name here, PD6TF. All right, and it started in 2003, and I am quoting here. Over a few beers, because Smart, obviously being Mercedes' kind of clever little city car division, they wanted to build a Dakar Rally Raid vehicle with a turbo 6-cylinder engine. And they said to all the suppliers, of whom Brabus, who is a tuning company, was one of them, to say, yes, we would like this turbo 6-cylinder engine. Could you build a turbo 6-cylinder engine? And Brabus just kind of went, yeah, fuck it, all right. So what they did was they took the already existing Smart Roadster, which is more or less what you're looking at here, which was really well respected at the time. A lot of people complained because it had a sequential gearbox, which was very, very slow. But other than that, I think this was how heavy was it? This thing was 815 kilograms. So this thing is lightweight, and it's very similar in size to my MR2. So this is 3.4 meters long, 1.6 meters wide, and 1.2 meters high. Whereas my MR2 is 3.8 meters long, also 1.6 meters wide, and also 1.0 meters. So it's, imagine my MR2 but slightly shorter and about 100 kilograms lighter. It had a automated manual, but again, people complained about it not particularly being very powerful. So the original 0 to 60 is 10.6 seconds, and again, that gearbox was a bit naff. And it was powered by a 3-cylinder 0.7 litre turbo. So Brabus went, yes, as you would like turbo V6. What we shall do is take this 3-cylinder engine, and we shall put two of them together at the middle, and we shall make them a twin turbo V6. And that's what they did. So this is a 1.4 twin turbo V6 mid-engined sports car that weighs how much does it weigh? 840 kilos. 0.8 of a ton. This would make, let's have a look, 170 horsepower, and it would up from 61 horsepower from the stock one. And
that doesn't sound like much, but when you put it in a car that small,
yeah. So I've actually got here. The original 0 to 60 was the original 0 to 62 was 10.9 seconds. The Brabus version managed it in 5.7 seconds and could go up to 140 miles an hour. Now, if you compare that to the original Lotus Elise, which only stopped production 2 years before, and bear in mind, Lotus Elise, very well-known sports car, very renowned for being fast and lightweight and everything, that did 0 to 62 in 6 seconds, which is obviously 0.3 seconds slower, and only did 126. So this is faster than a Lotus.
that is ridiculous.
Yep. It gets even better as well, right? So, you know how I said the original gearbox is rubbish?
Yeah.
They put in a 6-speed manual from a a Smart 4.4, the diesel one, so the big ugly sort of whatever car, and they couldn't get the clutch pedal to work somehow. I think they actually didn't have enough space to fit like a manual clutch or something like that. It was some reason, so they had to limit it to, even though it's still a 6-speed box, you could only have the first 5 gears. They didn't say why, that was just it. And it's now a sequential manual as opposed to a 3-pedal manual, which is a bit of a shame, but that's still an improvement. And also, because they didn't have enough space in the back now for the original fuel tank, they've had to put a racing, like actual racing bladder in the front. So that's a 50-litre, so this has more fuel than my MR2 as well. A 50-litre actual race tank at the front, you know, the plastic pedal ones. They had to change all the race suspensions to the engine, because it's a fairly sizable engine now. They had to change it all to make that fit. And in order to make space for all of this and to keep, you know, things working, they had to get rid of a couple of things. So they managed to keep the ABS. They did, however, take out the power steering, the stability control, the traction control, the air conditioning, and my favourite thing they took out, and this wasn't for weight savings, they took out the radio, so you wouldn't spoil the sound of the engine while you were driving, which I think is fantastic. And then they gave it all this luxury sort of Alcantara, diamond quilted leather, really, really nice, high quality interior. Extended the wheel arches out so it looks, you know, quite cool. And yeah, so it's also a Targa top, so it's the best form of convertible. And I think this thing absolutely fucks. This is one of the coolest things. And if you watch on Top Gear, they actually did a road, because they had 10 of these. They did a road review of one of these on Top Gear. Absolutely loved it because it's got perfect 50-50 weight distribution. So apparently this thing, if you wanted to do any corner at speed, you just really easily power slide it. And everyone who drove this loved it. And I think this is the coolest thing, small sports car wise, I've ever seen. Hello?
I was thinking about an answer.
I just went dead silence. I was like, oh no, I have lost everyone.
expecting to
full
see
assembly.
the real car that came out.
Well, this is the real car that came out. Now, you'll notice it looks moderately similar.
But it's got a radio.
Yeah, and it didn't have the nice fancy interior, and they didn't put that V6 in. So, the original complaint with the Smart Roadster is it was too expensive. And this one here, in 2004, costs 330,000 euros, which
I'm sorry, what?
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So
So
you were paying supercar prices for a smart car?
A Smart.
yes. Now they did say that if they did manage to make it, it would probably
Did it come with a free SLR? Are you forgetting that part? Like you buy one, you get an SLR for free.
yeah, you actually get one. It's a 2-for-1 deal. You know. But they did say if they actually sold them, the estimated release cost would have been around $65,000 in 2004 money, which adjusted for inflation, that would be about $100,000 today, which is.
I think I just had a heart attack.
Yeah,
That's quite meaty.
yeah. So what they did was they did this instead. Now this is effectively just the standard car. So on the standard car, the original. Had rear drum brakes. On the V6 one they had discs all around, and I think on this one they actually did give it discs at the back. And they tuned the engine a bit, so it does still have the original 3-cylinder turbo, but this now makes 100 horsepower, and it'll do 0 to 62 in 9.8 seconds. So it was a bit faster than the original Roadster, but that's it. It's just a slightly spicy Roadster, which has the widest. If you look, it's got slightly wider hips at the back. That is Brabus, and they give it these Brabus wheels. But that's about it, unfortunately. The Brabus Roadster wasn't nearly as exciting as it could have been, and I think that's the most disappointing thing in the world. Because this is still a pretty good car. Unfortunately, the gearbox is crap on them. But tiny little mid-engine Roadster, weighing nothing. That's cool to me. But the fact they went from that awesome little 1.4 litre twin turbo V6, I think that's a bit gutting.
And it's not even the last Roadster on this list.
Oh no.
It looks a bit like, like the really cheap knockoff iPods from the era. It looks like that with like the cheap bits of plastic, especially in the silver. It just looks really cheap.
I think it's the
And
headlights.
In the
one.
last picture
boring.
from the front, the car looks like it's grinning like an idiot.
I like that.
Yeah.
I
I don't
think
like the plastic.
yeah,
at all.
the plastic doesn't help. And I think the headlight shape doesn't help either.
It still has like the gray trim, like base model plastic on what's supposed to be the expensive one.
Yeah, all of them had that. Oh no, this one didn't. The actual concept didn't.
Yeah, if you're paying £100,000 for a car, you don't want the big piece on the front to be plastic.
This one wasn't 100,000. I think this was 60-odd thousand. Which
You said adjusted for inflation was about 100,000.
this one would have been.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So how much was that?
I would have
when it
much
came out?
rather paid for that though than I mean, at least for that you feel like you got something special. For this, you feel like you got screwed.
Yeah, it's just it's like an
60
appearance
for
package.
spicy V6 silly roadster is fun. And I'm disappointed they only got the 100 horsepower is fair for this chassis, I think, but
Well,
yeah, I
it
think
would
it
do
still,
0 to
it
62
still has
in
the
9.
terrible.
Sorry, go on.
Does it still have like the terrible transmission that
Yeah.
they didn't change at all?
Yeah.
Okay, if they just put a normal manual trans in it, or even a torque converter automatic, probably would have done better than that.
Yeah, this one could do 0 to 62 in 9.8 seconds, so it's not even that quick. Which is
That's like around what my truck does.
my MR2 is about 3 seconds faster than that, and my MR2 is about 100 kilograms heavier, and only makes 30 horsepower more. And that's
Well, it did when it left the factory.
well,
Not so much now.
Oh, it probably makes that horsepower. It just it doesn't go in a straight line very well anymore. Yeah, that's yeah.
Another rant for another day.
But no, it's a real shame, and I get why they couldn't, because obviously you couldn't sell this for 100 grand, could you? I mean, you couldn't
No,
sell this for
not-
100 grand. I mean, that is, I think while it's got
You stand a lot better chance at selling that for a price than you do this.
Mm,
If you did if you go back. If you did like a batch of those, like 100 of those, and sold them as like proper collector car, you could probably sell them for like 150, 200,000.
Well, the
Somebody
problem-
would pay that for a small run of those, especially if you let the SCCA guys read the rule book real quick.
The problem with these, so these
And
were like
Gordon Murray would have
9/11
one in a
money.
heartbeat, wouldn't he?
Gordon Murray did have one. Gordon Murray had one of these for 12 years, I think, as his daily driver.
That's what I'm saying. He would have the other one.
Oh yeah.
When
Which is because this was about 9/11 Carrera 4 money, I think. So you have to ask yourself, would you have a 996 Carrera 4 or one of these? And I can kind of see
I would
why.
have whatever had the most Alcantara in it.
So
I'm a huge fan of Alcantara.
yeah, I don't know why. Alcantara's crap. I hate Alcantara.
So yeah, whatever's got the most in, I'm there. It's just great. It feels great. It's a great material. So whatever's got the most, give me that one. No real
come on,
factor
next
into
one.
We haven't
Who's
rated it
that?
yet. We've all got to give our scores.
Oh.
So
I thought we were gonna pick one at the end.
no,
Okay, go on.
we got to
Okay.
score them as we
it.
go.
Who's keeping count of scores?
Oh God, I'll do that because I have my phone open already. So
Oh.
I'm gonna say on a scale of 1 to 10. So most disappointing being 10, and the least disappointing being 1. I'm gonna say this for me, a solid 7.
I think I have to say a 6.
What about you, Abby? How disappointing are you?
5.
Are we just gonna get 4, 3, 2, 1 as we go now, or?
I'm kind of thinking 5 because this is
I
disappointing. It's very disappointing that they did it like this, but also not surprising at all. Also,
Yeah, it's an understandable choice to make, and actually the car that came out wasn't awful.
I can't go
Very
any higher
meh.
than a 6 because the actual original car like isn't that exciting. It's exciting, but not. It's still a smart car. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I'm on the
I
same
I
page
agree
as
with
you there,
that
Matthew.
completely. I'm gonna go 5 too.
Ooh, I thought you guys would be all over this. So this one
So
gives
5,
you
5, 5, 6, 7.
yeah, which adds up to numbers. Bear with while I do this. It's 28.
28.
Score of 28 for that one. Right then. So up next we have Dalen's thing.
That is
Right.
a grady picture.
yeah. This is the only picture I could find of this thing. So, in mid to late '90s, sport trucks became a thing. You had your first gen Lightnings with 351, the 454 SS with the 7.4 V8 in them. Well, when they went to the second generation of those, Ford came out with the SVT Lightning, now with a 5.4 liter supercharged engine,
Which is cool as
385
hell.
horsepower. So this was supposed to be GM's answer to the second generation Lightning. So now we have the new platform GMT 800 two-wheel drive short bed rubber cab truck here. Has rack and pinion steering, coil spring front suspension, fully boxed frame. A new LS platform engine. We have a 6-liter with, I believe, the 806 heads from the LS1, and a cam now and higher compression, now making 395 horsepower. So more power than Lightning, naturally aspirated, so simpler setup. Going through a modified 4L60E transmission that I believe is basically what became the 6570 later. And then they did stock brakes all around because the new brakes in the 800 were pretty good. They 18-inch wheels, I believe it said was lowered 1.5 in the front, 4 inches in the rear, on I-box springs in the front, and modified leaf spring packs in the rear. So all this, and then they just color match some things, put a basic interior in it. So you have a very simple, fun, usable sport truck here.
So this is effectively just, the regular truck but with a massive, massive engine in it.
Yes, and then which is exactly what a sport truck should be.
So an actual
Then-
utility vehicle, but spicy.
Yes. This actually, I believe, would have towed more, like, been much safer towing than like the supercharged Lightning, just the heat management and everything else.
Of
But
course,
they
yeah,
didn't
'cause-
do that. They never built this. They drug their feet for a couple years on their sport truck, and then came up with, next slide, please, this piece of shit.
oh.
Why the absolute fuck did they use an extended cab for the sport truck?
I was just
Yeah.
about to say that. That
Yeah.
makes no sense.
So-
Okay,
Sorry,
so
you
Dodge had the crew
want-
cab, but Dodge had a Viper V10, so you could excuse the 4 doors.
They had both. They were the one. They had.
Yeah.
You get manual trans or automatic regular cab or the automatic crew cab.
I've got to
Yeah, but
check as
Dodge
well.
always get a pass because they're just bonkers.
Yeah, I don't like this
So
colour match
it's
colour as
horrible.
well. They somehow make the headlights look worse by not having the chrome separator piece.
Oh, that's a different front end altogether. That's the cat eye front end.
Okay, so
Oh, yeah.
by 2002, this was actually 2003 was the first year for the SS. We have the facelift of the 800 chassis, and with the cat eye front ends, I would personally refer. If anyone from the U.S. listens to this, will probably mad at me for this. I refer to cat eyes as parts trucks.
Yeah, the early 800s look better, especially the HD front ends.
Is that
So
this
we
one
did.
here that you're on about there?
Yeah, it's not an
that's
HD front end, but
round
that's the
body.
early 800 front end.
That looks a lot
Yeah.
better.
So they did a cat eye front end, so the facelift is already hideous. They have the ugly taillights in the back. We did not get a special engine at all for this. This has the LQ9 320 horsepower, the same engine you get like a Denali, or H2.
It is a 10-to-1 compression 6-liter, but it's the regular high
We're
compression
down
6-liter for all the trucks.
320 horsepower on this instead of the 395 in the concept.
Oh,
The transmission is that same 4L70E automatic. Now we have all-wheel drive, which, okay, cool. All-wheel drive sport truck sounds good. No, to do that, that means they use the four-wheel drive frame, which has torsion bar front suspension and a reciprocating ball steering box, I believe.
so that's worse.
It's a lot
so
worse.
It's the way less sporty chassis, way heavier, way uglier, and less power.
To be
Hang on,
fair,
wasn't the
that
SVT
same year,
Lightning
though-
rear-wheel drive as well?
Yes.
Yes, it was. So like there was no
So were the
reason.
Viper trucks.
Yeah. This was the only all-wheel drive sport truck. I mean, to be fair, they're kind of going back to the Cyclone thing, but again, that actually was kind of cool. This isn't.
Well, the Cyclone's
is
a really small
essentially-
truck, which is what I like. The Cyclone and the
Typhoon.
yeah, they're both
This is
really small cars.
basically just the Denali chassis, like you got from the SUVs, but with leaf springs in the rear still. And it's the same performance stuff. There's nothing really spicy here. It got.
What's
bigger
wrong with
wheels.
Chevy? Why do they keep ruining cool trucks? Like the Blazer, they ruined that. They turned it into a crossover.
Well, it's just the entire industry just is turning every crossover into like everything.
Hey,
the-
at least Jeep
the
brought
Ford
back a
brought
full-frame
Bronco.
Wagoneer.
The Ford Bronco's cool. I like the new Bronco. Is it? Hang
Oh,
on,
those
which
are
one's
such
which one's the
pieces of
Bronco that
trash.
looks cool and which one's the crap Bronco? Because there's the Bronco and the
Oh,
Bronco.
there's a-
Bronco
Sport.
Sport's the one that looks like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah, the Bronco and the Blazer were like the
Also,
enemies for years and
um,
years and years, and then they've brought back the new Bronco and it looks awesome, and then they've brought back the new Blazer and it looks fucking awful.
It says something when you got bloody Mitsuoka making I think it's the Trailblazer or the Buddy or something like that, which is a better looking version of the bloody Blazer, but it's a Toyota RAV4 underneath.
I like those actually.
Oh, I think Mitsuoka makes really cool looking things. I love their Rockstar.
Yeah, the other bad point with the SS coming out when it did is it came out exactly at the same time as the SRT10.
Yeah.
So now we have your big, lazy, all-wheel drive, terrible, slow sport truck coming out at the same time as a Ram with big brakes, a 6-speed manual, and a Viper motor.
See, this as a foreigner looking in, right? I look at this. You're ridiculously powerful, burning the rear wheels up. Just middle finger to the world. Makes no sense to make a brick go this fast machine. That to me is what American vehicles are all about. You know, the whole excess for the point of excess. There's no logical here. Just brute force and pig iron. And then I see this, and that's what they make of it. And then that is what American vehicles kind of are to the mainstream, aren't they? Just a bit sad, quite ugly.
It's
and
the official
very cheap.
pickup truck of drug dealers.
Yeah, I just
If the concept passed you on the motorway, if it overtook you, you'd think what a cool truck. If this passed you, you'd want to kill yourself.
My favorite thing about the concept is that it's subtle. Most people are not going to recognize that as anything special, which maybe is one reason they went the way they did. But
the thing is, if they're going to go that way, they didn't even make a big... Because if you look at the SVT Lightning, the body kit on that thing is the most showy-offy thing you'll ever see. This it looks like a regular truck to me.
the first-gen Lightnings are actually very subtle. It's...
The second
which is
gen,
what
then,
that-
which would have been out by now at this point.
Yeah. So they did this, and the other bad thing about this is that you're talking about phoning it in. On the first generation trucks, they didn't do anything special there. They put springs, shocks, and a bigger motor and some transmission stuff. That's all they did to that truck. There wasn't a lot going on there. This, they put a lot more effort into making this worse.
Yeah, I just
It's got a body kit specific to it. It's got a gauge cluster again specific to it. I mean,
But how have they done that to make it look? It's got a specific body kit that looks more average than you could like. That looks.
that almost looks like an
less
Escalade
average
front
than this
bumper that
does.
they cut some holes in.
Yeah.
Now that I look at it.
Oh, that definitely has to be the same vents as like the Escalade. I
That's
just thought of
The
it.
bumper just looks like an Escalade bumper
Yeah.
put on there that's made to fit the Chevy a little better.
it's crap. Like it just looks like they've just stuck SS badge on the side of a regular truck. You know,
They would have been better off leaving the factory bumper on the truck. I'm
You
just
know when
saying.
you see
It really
people that
would've.
drive around in a modified, like not even that, it's like a diesel BMW 5 Series, something like that, a regular stock one, and they stuck an M badge on the side. That's what this looks like to me. A Chevy that they've gone, oh, here's my SS badge, and just glued it on the side. They bought that for 10 pence down Halfords, and then now that's their sport truck.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
boomers like that.
Yeah,
Also-
that's true.
If I remember, I think it was about the same time the Trailblazer SS came out. That one actually got a somewhat spicy motor put in it. This one
Well,
didn't. So
don't forget the Cobalt SS you could have got with the naturally aspirated Ecotech as a SS only trim package, or you could have got it with the LSJ.
Yeah.
Why is it the SS?
Because
Super
GM
Sport.
really likes the Nazis.
Yeah.
it's because the Super Sport name was their big thing back in the '60s, and then it's a boomer thing, really is.
Mm.
Do you know what? I'm realizing that the time is ticking away. I'm going to give my rating of this one. This thing I'm going to say this is a 6. That is really disappointing, actually. And again, I don't even
I'm
think
gonna
necessarily
take
that's a bad vehicle that came out. That is so generic, and that's a 6 from me. Anyone else want to give their rating?
I'm going to give it a 5.5 on the disappointment.
Oh, you got to make it complicated, haven't you?
Oh, okay.
Just adding to the
Good
maths
on.
I've got to do. Someone give me a 4.76.
All right then, 4.76.
Oh,
I give it a pie.
Oh, for God's sake! Guys. I can't do maths after A levels. Okay, my brain stopped understanding what maths was at that point.
Nobody told me I wasn't allowed to use 0.5s. I thought 0.5s were allowed.
0.5s are fine. I just stop giving me complex stuff, guys.
I'm gonna say a
7.76, please.
7.76.
I was expecting 7.62 on that one, to be honest.
Math, what score are you
Oh.
going to give it?
I should have done ammo. It'll have to come later.
I'm gonna give it a 6.22.
6.22. Oh, for God's sake.
I love making your life more difficult.
And Dalen, I think it's just you we're waiting on.
Yeah, it's like an 8. Well, no, not an 8. I mean, I know it's old GM, so they always do stupid shit. So yeah, it's a 7.
7. So, oh, for God's sake. Has anyone got a calculator to hand? Oh, for God's sake.
I got a phone.
Right, okay,
Yeah,
so
give me the numbers.
6 add 7. I can do that one. That's 13. Add
What were the
5.
numbers again? Sorry, 6.22 was mine.
6.22, 7.76, 5.5.
I changed mine to 7.62 now.
Oh, for God's sake. Right, we've got 7.62, add 6.22, add 7, add 6, add 5.5.
622, 762, 55.
7 and 6, normal numbers.
32.34.
Jesus. Right, okay, what's next then? Oh, this is Tyler.
Ah, the 1991 Dodge Neon Concept. This is everything about why Chrysler did lots of drugs. So, what you got here
Oh,
is a
those
B-pillarless
wheels.
design. Oh, don't even worry, that's not even the worst part of the car. So, we got these awesome doors you see that power slide open, and that's electric Chrysler 1991.
Oh, it's just
let
like
that
a
sink in.
Peugeot 2008 or 2007 even.
It gets better. The entire roof is a fabric soft top that slides all the way back, and the rear window slides down into the trunk.
Oh, that's kind
That's
of
cool.
cool. I like that. Like
is
what's
very
that
Until somebody
K-car?
stabs holes in the top of your neon. But yeah, so the back trunk lid is power. It comes up, and the rear bumper actually slides out to make it easier to load the trunk on power. The hood is a power flip forward one. And you see that horrible looking center console in the picture where it shows you the seats lay flat?
Yeah.
That's a trash compactor.
Oh.
I don't know what it does with the trash at that point, but it compacts your trash.
Yeah, because we all eat
That
that
is
much
very
chewing gum while we're
handy.
on the move, you know.
Trash
all that
compacting
aside-
inside a car feels so unnecessarily American.
Oh, it gets
this
worse.
Looks
This is this
unnecessarily
car.
French to me. This does weirdly.
Hang on a second, though. The worst part of this car has nothing to do with any of that. It's under the hood.
Oh dear.
This had a 1.1 liter 3-cylinder
Oh.
that made 100 horsepower.
Oh, that's
That
not
was a
bad.
2-stroke.
That's
It's a 2-stroke. It has got direct injection running 1,000 psi at the injector tips.
Oh no. That
So this engine was designed in combination with Chrysler and Mercury Marine. Now, when I say 2-stroke, this is a very cheap 2-stroke where the cylinder head and the engine block are one piece, so there is no head gasket. You just slide the cylinder kit up into the bottom, like you would on a 4-wheeler engine, not like the 2-strokes that are in my bus where they actually have a separate block and cylinder head and all that.
God. This is an outboard motor stuck in a car, isn't it?
It is, because Mercury Marine worked on it. Now,
Oh,
I can't find
God.
much info on the 1.1 liter that was allegedly in this concept, but they had a 1.5 liter supercharged that made 95 horse and 128 foot-pounds of torque that they
How
put
do you
over
make
100,000
less
miles.
So hang on, sorry. How do they make less power with force induction and more displacement?
I'm getting to it. Calm down. So they built that one to road test, over 100,000 miles of testing. But this engine had the direct fuel injection, had EGR, 2 spark plugs per cylinder.
Oh, it's a
and
twin
It
spark.
was made to be like a. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. It's the best engine in the world. Then you should open with that. As we all know, twin sparks are the best technology in the world, and I'm not biased.
So when the car went into production in 95, this engine obviously didn't make it into there. But they had tried all the way up till 97 before the EPA just said no. The NOx emissions are way too high.
Oh,
And it also used more fuel than the 2-liter 4-stroke that came in it, but it was going to be a really, really cheap engine. And as best I can tell, the 2-stroke was only made into a 5-speed manual transmission.
oh God, that sounds awful. Like unapologetic.
I would drive it, though. That sounds fun. That engine should have made it into the
Yeah,
Gen
but
1
this-
Neon.
It sounds like it would be awful to drive, but it looks so cool.
I know. I hate the way this looks. This looks like every concept car of, hey,
Okay.
look at this thing we can take to the beach.
So-
Perfectly accentuated by the fact that A, the photo's on the beach, and B, it's got a surfboard on it. But it looks like everybody, like, oh, look, this is the new Beetle. Look how beachy it is.
So
But it
this
looks
is a
crap.
91 Neon concept. They drew it in 1987.
Okay, it looks more
You
futuristic
definitely
than when it
can't
came
see
out. I'll
that
give it that.
Chrysler in the 80s was just piles and piles of drugs in the office. That's all it
Is
was.
this the Lee Iacocca period?
Yeah.
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 Yes, it was.
Thing is, though, because obviously the whole point of the neon was so the next slide. This is the production neon, right?
Yes, that is the disappointment we ended up with, which
Which all of those are either race cars or they smell like cigarettes and disappointment.
Yeah, but the thing is, right? It saved Chrysler, right? The neon was what ultimately pulled Chrysler out of thingy because this was
it was
cheap,
made to be a direct competitor with like a Honda Civic.
So it was a cheap economy car to use daily. Can you imagine having to use a 2-stroke every bloody day?
Well,
two-stroke-
the
that would-
production engines weren't that great either. You guys got a 1.8 liter that made 131 horsepower.
I always forget that we had.
And then
these.
we had an option of 2 different 2 liters, a single overhead cam or a dual overhead cam, making 132 or 150. But 5-speed manual was the transmission option, or you could have got a 3-speed torque flight automatic. I cannot imagine how terrible that is.
Oh God.
But it's on some 13-inch wheels there, looking mint in its spec there. You want to know something I found kind of interesting, though? There was no trim level where you had the option of power windows on the back doors if you got the 4-door.
That's a fairly common thing from this period. In fact, Abbey has the top trim or second top trim Fiesta from 2014, and that also doesn't have power rear windows.
I just
My sisters had power windows.
Yeah, the
like
US market wants to get
having
'em.
manual windows in the back, you know.
It-
I
it-
like to make my passengers suffer.
there's a genuine thing. Like a lot of economy cars I've been in, cheap economy cars have no power windows in the back.
that is not something that's very common in the US.
Yeah, but
You
you guys
did,
also have
however,
everything.
do the Malibu, the 4-door Malibus, where they just didn't make the back windows open.
Oh, I hate that.
Yes.
Same as my
I,
last two cars. Didn't have operational back windows.
I saw something recently, which was like a big SUV of some kind, but the rear window is one of those pop-out ones. So you've got a fully openable door, but you can only open the window like the tiniest crack to get the bit of air out. You can't even get air in through them.
That's how the back doors in my dually are.
Yeah, but it's a bloody that's a pickup truck. That's a utility vehicle. This is a crossover SUV of some description. It's quite a new one as well. Really dismal looking thing.
Pop-out windows are underrated. They're
Pop-out
really
windows are
good for
fine on a
circulation.
hatchback or on a pickup truck.
I wish we would bring back the 3/4, like the wing windows.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Just yes.
And the ball vents.
Yes.
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 All the windows.
You know what I think we should bring back? Windows you can see out of properly.
No, I'm
I'll
not a
never
fan.
catch on. I'll never catch on.
Overrated.
Do you know, I
I
drove...
just say,
Sorry, go.
as sad as it is that they got rid of the slidey doors on this Neon, and the very, very cool roof idea with the back window disappears into the boot, it is so nice to see them upgrade the wheel.
Yeah, do you know what these wheels remind me of?
Those are
Do you
the base
guys...
model wheels.
I think it was Mazda that did it. Mazda had like the teddy bear wheels? Or was it VW?
VW.
Yeah,
I think.
that's what these look like to me.
Sounds more like a German.
Regardless, they are disgusting in every possible way.
I'm
the
going to make the
rear
argument
window
that the entire concept is disgusting in every single way. I hate
Oh,
it.
it's
Well,
not
I
the
hate
good
every
looking.
bit of it, but I
I
wanted that
like
engine so bad.
I do like this, the way this looks. Yeah.
I like
But
the
imagine
roof
if it was
idea.
a two-stroke.
The roof idea seems like it would be a Citroen C2 Pluriel, but slightly less terrible
The one problem I
execution.
see with
The Citroen
slide
was
down back
actually a
window-
heavy inspiration to that.
Oh,
the problem with the power rear window on that one is that you imagine the only place that window could go was into the trunk. So if you have anything into the trunk, you can't open your window.
yeah. But that's like a
No,
modern
Also,
no, in
hardcore
that
Chrysler,
back
you
will
could.
pop out.
It would just break the window doing it.
Ah, yeah. Well, you don't need
And they
that.
wouldn't tell you. Okay, that'd be a note that came out like 6 months later, after the car came out.
After it destroys every rear window the second time that somebody tries to open it and forgets they have a box in the back.
To me, it's one
That-
of those
would
cars
be a
that's ugly
meme.
but cool.
Every dealership service department would have this thing posted on the wall as a meme.
I will say, to me, this looks oddly European, which is strange for Chrysler. Like it looks sort of
Well,
Frenchy
it was made to
German.
directly target Japanese market small commuter cars in the U.S.
Hmm.
So I think they were trying to move away from the typical vision of what you think a Dodge or a Chrysler product was, which actually what Dodge or Plymouth, I think, were the two nameplates that the Neon was under.
Chrysler. There were Chrysler Neons too in the U.S.
Okay, so they did all three then.
We only got them as Chrysler Neons over here. See, the thing I find with this, right, is this to me looks like a, hey, look, this is our super high futuristic, look at us looking into the future kind of concept. Whereas this, to me, looks like Chrysler going, oh, hey, let's build a car that people actually want to buy, which they
But
did.
who would want to buy that?
A lot of
You'd
people.
have
It
to be
saved
Not a lot of
Chrysler.
people.
It saved Chrysler.
I mean, it did, but it was very depressing. It wasn't like you were happy. You were crying when you signed the papers, but they weren't
The
tears of
majority
joy.
of neons do smell like cigarettes and depression.
Okay, I'm going to go a
Yeah.
bit against brand here. I actually really like the Neon. I think it's actually a really cute little car.
I will
Yeah.
send you one right now.
Do it. I actually get excited seeing Neons on the road.
You've seen one in real life?
Yes. In fact, someone at my uni had one. I think they had a second gen.
One of my friends in high school had an SRT4 Neon.
The
I loved
ST4
that
is
car. It
very
was-
cool.
See, not living in a deprived part of the UK, I've never seen one. So
You lived in fucking Luton. You probably haven't seen one because it's been nicked 3 times and then set on fire. Anyway, UK beef aside, I'm sorry. I don't think this is a disappointing car. I think I think the actual production one was significantly better than every single way than the concept. I'm gonna give this one a 0. Actually,
I think the production car is better, but it's nowhere near as unique or interesting or cool.
I just want that two-stroke. Why the fuck did they not give me a two-stroke?
because it's a bad idea.
Shut up! I don't care.
Come on, let's
If it
some
doesn't have a
scores.
head gasket, I can't blow a head gasket. It's gonna get a lot of boost.
And nitrous.
Come on,
I would
let's
100%
see
put nitrous to that.
some scores on the doors here again, guys. What are we rating it? I'm giving it a 0. I'm actually.
I'm giving it a 10. It should have had a two-stroke.
I'm going with 6, honestly, because as much the neon ACR is one of the best things in the world. However, I wanted those stupid doors and soft top. So
I'm giving
going to
it
give
a
it
7.
a solid 5.
5 and a 7. Okay.
7 because it's fucking vile.
No, it's not vile. Look at it. It's cute.
Fucking vile. It's making me want to gouge my eyes out.
It's a happy-looking
Thank you.
car. It's like a Twingo, but American.
No, it's not.
It is.
It looks like
The
somebody
front end of
stepped
it
on a
just looks
frog.
like it wants to paint a wall with the inside of its head.
Oh,
seen-
don't be
have you
mean to
not
my
seen
boy.
the high ad?
It looks
Have you
like
not seen
somebody
the
with
high
a
end?
really fat foot has stepped on a frog.
No, Dad, you're being mean to me. I like the neon. I'm moving
Fucking
away now.
vile.
You're bullying neon too much. Ooh, hello.
Hang on, we didn't add up my score.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah, we did that up
28.
your score.
There,
That's- how did
there. That's all you need to do with the neon is that ad right there.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Where
it's
am
a
I
cute
sitting at
little advert.
points? What's everyone's points at?
So, we have currently winning the GMT 800 two-wheel drive V8 truck, as I've written it down here, with a 32.34. Thank you, all of you, for your decimals. And the Neon and the Brabus both tying at 28.
Ha! Not last.
But the trick was to be first. I want to know
I
about
just want to
this.
be podium.
I'm very... What's... Abby, this is yours, isn't it?
It is. I went very.
I need one.
off-piste and off-brand. So this is the Renault Twin Run, not Twin Go, Twin Run.
Oh.
It was introduced in 2013. The Monaco Grand
Actually, I
Prix.
think you find it's Mono Run now. They've changed the name.
Don't do this to me. I'm barely functioning as it is. It's mid-engine, 3.5 litre, 320 horsepower V6.
What?
Yeah. It's also rear-wheel drive
And mid-engined.
and mid-engined. The engine is a rebadged, highly modified Nissan VQ35DE, which was used
Oh
unmodified.
no, it sounds horrible.
Yeah.
I'm out.
It was that, but it had been Frenchified. I think it's just the core components.
When you say Frenchified, do you mean that the wiring's a lot worse and it's probably going to catch on fire?
Exactly, it adds spice to it.
There is nothing
Yeah,
wrong with
there might be
French
back in.
wiring. I will not accept that.
Hey, Matt, has
French-
your
okay,
battery died at any point this week?
No, not
Mine-
this week, but last week, yes.
I'm excited for the VQ catching fire with French influence.
So there's a part of it that I don't actually really understand, but I just wanted to say this sentence. It features a dry sump lubrication system. Dry sump lubrication.
Well, that's spicy.
That's
Um,
That is kind of spicy.
I'm seeing they're very clearly basing a lot of the design on the Renault 5, which is yes.
Yes. So it's
Okay,
always
when I think of it as a
designed-
modern 5, I like it a little more.
Yeah, it's designed in tribute
It
to
does need
by
more white. It does need more box flares.
It really does.
Well, why is there not box flares?
I don't know.
Also, why could they not find an engine from one of the companies they're involved with? Why did they have
They
to
are.
go to Nissan?
Renault and Nissan are
They are
involved.
involved with Nissan. They
Yeah.
are. They literally are.
Damn it.
All the Renault, sorry, all the Nissan Micros are rebadged Renault Clios, if I remember correctly.
That's why
I didn't know that. We don't get those.
You don't want
But-
those.
Well, it's why the Renault LMS one, whatever the GT3 car they built has a VQ in it. What's the VR38? It's a VR38 based engine, actually.
So if we had an option to Nissan and we could have got engines, why didn't we get the V8?
Because the original Renault 5. No, the Renault 5 was originally a 4-cylinder turbo, wasn't it? Not a V6.
Yeah, so why didn't we put the V8 Nissan makes, the 5.6 liter?
I don't think you realise just how
Because it was
small
all-
the Twingo is.
Yeah, and it's part
We don't need
of
room
the
for people.
trilogy with the
Hire a
Milan
smaller
Grand
driver.
Prix.
I've never dealt with the Fika. It's not actually a small engine either.
Well, yeah, it's
I-
taking
I-
up the whole rear of the car. I don't think it's exactly tiny.
I don't,
Like, it's not.
I don't know why you guys.
Force
I
owners, yeah.
don't know why you're slagging this off. This is dope as hell.
Yeah.
This is funky,
Yeah,
fresh,
because I hate
and
the VQ.
fly.
This is great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
continuing on with the stuff they did. Got a twin clutch, 6-speed sequential.
Oh no. I want a manual.
No,
Yeah.
actually, I am much more on board with the dual clutch in this nonsense.
Double wishbone suspension and Collins spring shock absorbers. A tribute to the R5 Turbo. It was produced by Torque Engineering and Poquelin Vecchierie, French. But it was designed by a guy called, oh god, I googled how to say his name, but now I can't say it. Cabba Whittinger. I looked him up on Instagram. He's done some really, really good like concept cars, and he's had a lot of input into a lot of cars that I like now. So it's not a surprise that I like what he did with this. So yeah, he's really cool. What he did with this is very, very interesting. It's mainly made of carbon fibre. It weighs 950 kilograms.
Ha! That's
And it's
more than my
43
MR2. Suck it. Sorry.
Yeah, 43.57 weight distribution, and there's 0 to 62 in 4.5 seconds. And it goes sideways very, very easily.
I want that a lot.
It is
Sounds
very
like an
cool.
angry elephant.
I really,
Yeah.
really want that. Even if
Why
it's just
aren't-
the appearance package, I want that. That's cool as hell.
Why aren't square fog lamps a more common thing?
Yeah, that's way cooler than all your light bars. That I've never seen.
What is with
square
your
fog lamps.
guys' unhealthy obsession with fog lamps?
They're
Because
cool.
rally.
They're useless, but they're cool.
You put them everywhere. Front of the car, back of the car. Is there one in your glove box? You got one that shines at your face when you drive,
Right.
just in case you can't see
Legally,
it?
we only have to have rear ones. However, I am going to be installing 2 more pairs on the front end of mine to make it look more rally.
But like fog
I
lights
vote
when
you do
go
what I
around
do.
the corner, they're so cool. You know, they come
I've
on,
got
they come
LED
off.
light pods on the back of every one of my trucks facing about windshield height on cars, so when people tailgate you, you can blind them.
That's a good idea. I might do that. Except my car's not big enough to do that.
See, if you
You'd have to put them
blind
like on top of
people-
your wing or something. You'd be fine.
I'm itching
blinded
to
people
see
with
how
these.
Renault ruined this car.
Well, they're Renault, so it wasn't hard.
Oh my no!
Why did you make
Yeah.
it 4 doors? I hate that.
They made
I
it 4
actually-
doors. They got rid of the 4 big square headlights.
You're
They
gonna have
got
to
rid
talk
of
me
the
out of
good
this one. I'm
spoiler.
excited so far.
It's
Why-
awful.
What did they do under the hood? Is it actually storage now, or
I believe so, yeah.
Is it
so you
like
see the
just
proof.
empty with some like radiators and shit?
I
Yeah,
believe
it's
because I know
just
somebody who has one of
empty.
these. It's like it's a sort of half trunk and half of it's like your washer fluid bottles and things like that.
Nope.
No.
No trunk, just washer bottles.
Ow.
Oh, that's horrible.
And it's really difficult to get off. Think Audi, is it an
A2.
A2 level of difficulty? That kind of vibe. Like, you can't get it
So
off very
does it do horrible problems with like when you put groceries in the trunk, eating the fuck out of it on the way home?
Yep. That is one of the points I was going to get to, yes.
It's like
You
it's like a
will have
really
an
ugly
omelette when you
VW
get
van,
home.
isn't it?
I like them. I
So
think
my
they're
ice
quite
cream
cute.
won't make it back.
But
No,
I don't
it's-
like the fact that they again. I hate small cars with 5 doors because obviously someone in a boardroom somewhere's gone. Oh, you gotta have 5 doors, otherwise you can't get in. It makes the car look awkward. It just doesn't look right. I mean, you can tell the fact they try to hide the fact, and they do this thing where they hide the fact it's got rear doors with a hidden rear handle, which also doesn't look right because then you've got a really small, disproportionate front door, and I hate that even more than just having 4 doors on it. Because look, 3 doors. It's right. It's
If I'm
the
gonna
right
have a ridiculous Renault with engine in the wrong spot, I don't even want back seats.
I just
Bigger front doors, no back seats.
Can we have
No.
that? I want the 3-door Twingo.
Do you want to know how disappointing this is now? Because, bear in mind, it looks like it makes you want to cry. But this is the GT one. So that one, Kate, was like debuted in 2013. The base level Twingo came out in 2014. It wasn't until 2017 that they thought, oh, maybe we could do a sportier one. So this came out in 2017, this sporty one. It's a 0.9 litre 5-speed manual.
Oh, it's a manual at least.
Only coming manual, as far as I can see. There's 60 in 9.6 seconds with a top speed of 100.
Sorry, what was the
comparing
you cut out then? What was the 0 to 60? Abby, no! Abby, you've died.
Am I back? Hello?
Hello? Yeah,
I
sorry.
can hear just fine.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Is
I'm
it just
here.
me
Yeah.
that's dying?
It could
Maybe.
just be you that can't hear me.
Oh.
Oh no, but yeah, 9.6 seconds. So if you compare this to like its direct competitor of the time, it's still slow. It's very slow for like a sporty city car.
This is a solid for a disappointment for me.
It gets worse. It's still mid-engine and rear-wheel drive, but you can't go sideways in this one. There's not enough power to go sideways.
Well, not with that
It looks
attitude.
at it, thinks about it, and doesn't do it. It's 5 days. Boo gets hot enough to cook breakfast in. Direct quote from Jeremy Clarkson. It was still designed by the same guy, Cabba Whittinger, but it looks like, in my opinion, it was designed by Renault Trucks. Like the flat face to it. It just looks like something from Renault Trucks,
I mean,
and it's awful.
it looks a lot better than the smart version of this, because this is the smart rebadged this as a smart, and that looks even worse.
Yes.
I'm
Do you
giving
wanna
this
know
a
the
solid
most
10,
disappointing
honestly.
thing here is,
I'm pissed.
I nearly owned both of these, the smart version and the Twingo, but I went to look at them and went, absolutely fucking not. But yeah, I've also prepared some stats to compare this to other mid-engined rear-wheel drive cars that we may know about.
Oh no.
It's only 1.6 seconds slower. Also got handy 2 seats in the back should you decide to have friends, which
Hang on.
struggles
Sorry,
with.
the connection's cutting out for me a second.
Of his brother.
Sorry, can you repeat that whole bit again? Sorry, the whole bit cut out. I have to edit this out because obviously I'm recording.
Oh no, I was being really savage.
I
Oh,
know.
so
Yeah,
I'm just.
I'm gonna stick with a solid 8. That is an 8.
Yeah. It's also got aircon, so you know.
I think you guys are hating way too much on this thing. It doesn't have a VQ, which means it's better. I'll give it a 2.
It's French.
But it has no square fog lamps.
I want square fog lamps and everything now. That's the coolest
I
thing I've ever
don't
seen.
think you quite realise how atrocious it is inside.
Oh,
Like-
it looks terrible. Everything about that's horrible. I want nothing to do with it, but it doesn't have a VQ.
So if you compare this to the Fiat 500, which is one of its sort of competitors, currently, if I wanted to buy like a 2014, 2015 Fiat 500, you're looking at about between 5.5 to 7.5 grand, depending on how much miles they've done. This thing you can get for £3,500 because nobody wants them because they're fucking awful. They are vile. They are so plasticky, so cheap, so shit.
Oh, again, I don't disagree that looks horrible. I never want one. I would rather walk. But it doesn't have a VQ.
Well, it's not really a VQ.
It's a French VQ. It's
Yeah.
So
live-
It's a bare bone.
it's more of a live
Unless they figured out a way to make it not sound like a pissed off elephant, I'm out.
I would say I'll send you a video of it because it doesn't sound like a pissed off elephant to me.
Well,
But, you know,
our
each
food
to
has
their
just come
own.
out, so I wanna start wrapping this up because I'm hungry.
Yeah, give me your
Hey,
scores.
that's an 8 for
So
me.
I'm giving this a solid 10 on the disappointment scale. I'm
It's,
actually angry at this.
It's a 7.4 for me.
Oh, for
and-
God's sake!
And that's because the first gen Twingo and the video of it being chased by a transit connector on the Nürburgring is one of my favorite videos ever.
Oh, the original Twingo's
So,
great.
and-
They're
So
weirdly
I
big.
saw this Twingo, and I didn't realize that all of them were mid-engine and stupid. If this was just a normal front-wheel drive hatchback, I would love this thing. But it's apparently not that.
What's wrong with mid-engine
So-
and stupid?
It's
I don't know, how
mid-engine
often does your
and
car work?
stupid.
I retract my statement. So I've got my score. I've got everyone's score apart from yours, Abby. What was your score?
8.
8. Okay, so this
Actually, no,
gives.
I'm going to go with a 9. Sorry.
Going for
I
a
thought
9.
about that a bit longer then. 9.
Then I believe so. We got. Oh God. 29 add 7. What's 29 add 7? That's 36.4. So up next we've got Matthew. So Matthew, what have you brought? Ooh.
I have brought an MG EX-E.
Oh. Okay.
So, I don't know if you can tell, but this car would eventually become the MGTF.
Oh, the fantastic car, flawless in every single way.
Yeah, when they're not petrol bombs, yeah.
Yeah, or when they don't blow up outside a terrorist house, or when they don't break down on the drive home twice. Or
I called it, Matthew. I called it, did I not?
You did call it.
Thank you.
If you kind of squint, it looks like a Jag.
yeah, I looked. I thought that. It
thinking-
looked like the XJ220.
If I didn't know
inspiration from
all of
Lotus,
them-
apparently.
And you had told me this is a mid-engine Corvette concept, I would have believed you.
So, I only brought this in as a bonus, so I've only got some base level facts for you. So, I'm not sure about any information about the TF. If you go to the next picture, you'll see that.
I'm surprised you didn't use my pictures of mine, to be honest.
I don't have any pictures of yours. I've got videos of you in the boot.
They're a fun little car. They're a bit tall. They're a bit but they do have the best engine. So.
But no, that's ugly, right? So if you go back one and you compare it to that, so the cockpit. This is an '80s concept, by the way.
Ah, okay.
See, this looks like you
Hard to
have
tell.
cocaine. The other car looks like you'll do things for cocaine.
Yes.
Yeah. So the entire cockpit is based on a fighter plane. So like it's got really futuristic dashboard and everything, and the glass dome, all that good stuff. But the thing that got me interested and made me think that how disappointing it was the fact that this was supposed to have the 3-liter V6 engine for the Metro 6R4 rally car.
Yes. So this would have
So this-
literally just been a miniature version of the Jaguar XJ220.
This would have been a missile. This would have literally been a
Oh.
missile with turbofan wheels, which I love. I don't know. I think you've got a problem with them, haven't you, Alex? You don't
No,
like
I love
turbofan.
turbofans. I just don't like
Oh,
them on
those are
modern
good.
cars.
But it's like super fighter planey, and it's also got a drag coefficient of 0.24.
Oh. Okay, yeah, this is a 10 as well. Yeah.
You don't even need to know the information about the TF to know how disappointing it is compared to.
I mean, I can give you the rough. I mean, you can get them with a selection of Rover K series, the superior K series engines, ranging from 1.6 to I believe 2 liters. You could get red lines ranging from about 7.2 to I think 8.1, and I think the top trim could get like 210 brake horsepower, I think. But they were renowned for being a bit too high to drive, so they rolled a bit too much. And if you had the original F, which had hydrogas suspension, it was absolutely hopeless as a sports car.
Also, if you go back to the EX-E, a little interesting fact for this: even though it's an '80s concept, it has a hands-free mobile phone system.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, so the speakers were in the headrest, so you could be heard clearly.
That's actually a lot better than most hands-free stuff today. Oh man,
Go
Oh.
back to the.
I'm actually
Also-
sad they never made this now.
If you look at the rear quarter panel,
excuse me.
like sort of just above the wheel, really, really far away from where the bonnet actually opens, is where the battery is stowed away and hidden.
Ah, yeah. So that's gonna be a pain in
But-
the neck to.
Yeah, but the payoff is a Metro rally engine with turbofan wheels in a fighter plane for the road.
I like that a lot.
And
That-
again, just take 10 seconds to soak that in, and then go back to the other picture.
Because the thing is, you're looking at this. This would have been a 911 competitor, and this is an MR2 competitor.
Is it a
So
competitor?
your inferior MX-5.
Actually, I think you find the
things
MX-5 is
in
wrong
the
because it has the engine in the wrong place. But you know.
Really, because it seems to work pretty often.
Yeah.
Oh God, what's that over there? Is
Okay,
that a
I
time?
will say, mine is currently broken, but it broke after a weekend at the racetrack.
See, mine doesn't
A
break
lot
so
of racetrack.
debilitating. Mine just breaks in ways that tries to kill me. See?
And I
Mine's
actually
fine.
drove mine home from the racetrack, even though it came apart after I got home.
But it
Well,
made it home.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the main thing here.
It was very noisy when it made it home, but it made it home.
So, what's our
Your
scores on the doors
pilot
for this
bearing
one, guys?
fell out. 9.69.
You're just doing this to be annoying, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm giving
This
that
is
a
a-
solid 10.
That's a 10 for me. That is.
9.88, 9.884.
Oh, for God's sake, man. I'm going to round that to 9.88 to spite you.
6.69.
Oh, for God's
6.69.
I
That
hate
is
my
my,
I hate my job. So,
Don't volunteer to be in charge of numbers.
oh God, I didn't think you were all going to be tits.
Admittedly, it was me who started
Yes,
it.
it's
I do
nice.
apologise, but you know, I have my reasons. I wanted some entertainment. I wanted to see you struggle.
I'm having to actually write things down now. I hope you're happy.
You're gonna do a bit of long division or something.
I did think about bringing the Dodge Copperhead, but I thought that would be a bit.
I don't think that ever became a thing, did it?
It kind of did it. That's what was so disappointing about it, was the fact that it was just like a special edition Viper that looked slightly different when it came out,
So,
and it was like,
ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, are we ready for the scores on the doors?
yes,
No.
So, coming in at a joint last, we have the Brabus and the Neon being the least disappointing of the two we've brought of the five we brought in today.
Want to fight to the death over this, or are we going to accept not being last?
I mean, you can retroactively, give me more points.
I'm pretty sure if we show
No.
the picture of the production neon again, Abby will give me more points.
Yeah. I would rather fucking gouge my eyes out than look at that. Awful.
Coming in at third, so now we're getting on the podium. We have, drum roll please. That was a pathetic drum roll. I'm going to have to add one in,
Well-
in post now.
my mic only activates when I talk, so I did do a drum roll, but it just didn't pick up.
So coming in at
Well,
third,
that's
we've
pretty
got Dalen with the SS thing, the Nazi truck, with a 32.34 as a score, because you guys hate me. Coming in second, the second most disappointing thing we've seen, with 36.4, it's Abby's twin run, which means taking the crown with the least stats of any of the vehicles brought, and researched the most last minute of them all, the MGXE, which comes in at 46.264 points.
You say it was researched the least, but I knew about it for quite a long time. That's how I knew to go straight for it. It's just I didn't have time to get the stats, so I couldn't be accurate with them.
I am actually really gutted, because that is such a cool thing. And they unfortunately made by a company that was consistently going under, which is a tragedy. Anyway, my food is cooked and downstairs, and I'm very hungry, and I have work in Oh boy, 2 hours. So I'm going to go and have my food now. Has anyone got any adverts to shield? Oh, I forgot to say we didn't have Paran on today because Paran's busy. So that's why Paran's not here
Oh
today.
wow.
Yeah.
Apparently
Well,
But he died.
Could I just say, I came on here only for Paran, and he's not here, and I'm disappointed.
Hopefully he'll be back
Oh,
soon.
thank you. I'm glad. I'll remember that.
So
Can't believe-
I've got a small ad. We're going to be doing a build series on the MR2 on the channel soon, which is going to be fun and exciting. I might have to start with Underglow as opposed to Suspension, like I was going to start with, because things aren't arriving on time. But we will see. That's my advert. Anyone else got anything to advertise, or you happen to go into just where we can find each other? Everything keeps going
Yes.
silent. I think my connection's not very good, So
No, that was no one saying anything because I think we were all thinking.
Oh.
I mean, you can find me on TikTok at Depressed Welsh Boy, but like I don't post anything, so.
Tyler, hang on, let's see if I can get it right this time. You're on Instagram and Snapchat at Spike383.
Yep. And
Yeah!
Indiana Diesel on YouTube.
Because I keep putting it down as 382 for some reason in the descriptions. I will put any link trees in as well, because I know, Dalen, you say that your Instagram has your link tree. I'll put your link tree in the description. But
Yes.
what is your Instagram anyway?
It's Dalen_C.
And you post
Mo-
racing
and
car bits.
I post various things sporadically on YouTube and TikTok.
Abby, where can we find you? Usually posting content about me, I don't know, crying or something, because you just...
I've also got things for sale on eBay on my link tree as well.
Oh, of course I forget you break cars. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut your advert short. I feel quite bad now.
I've never actually mentioned it on the podcast before.
You haven't, no. You can
Well,
buy things off Dalen if you live in
currently-
Tennessee. Not Tennessee.
Kentucky.
Yes.
I do ship things on eBay. If it's listed on eBay, I will ship it.
Can you ship me a VQ engine so I can stick it in the back of a Twingo?
I mean, I can get you one. Then I'll get you a quote on that, and I'll get back to you shortly.
Oh, you want me to pay for it? Oh no, that's not what I'm about, mate. I meant pro
I'll send
bono.
you a free engine if I can pick one of the ones I have laying around here.
See, that would be an interesting one, because I know with you that could be anything from a F355 V8 to like a random bus engine from the 40s. So that's a risk I'd be willing to take, as I like the idea of either, an F355 powered Twingo or an old 1940s bus engine just stuffed in the back of a Twingo as well.
Do you reckon you could fit an LS in the back of a Twingo?
Yes.
You can fit most things in the back of a Twingo. You just might
If a
have to
VQ
extend
will
the
fit, an
Twingo.
LS will definitely fit. Because an LS is actually smaller than a VQ.
I know, it's surprisingly a small engine, isn't it?
To fit an LS into my MX-5, you need to notch two little corner bits off the back of near the firewall, and then it just falls in place. Other than that, and it's actually not the LS that doesn't fit; it's the transmission bell housing on the T56.
Abby, where can we find you?
Under you.
Okay. I don't know how to. Anyway, so that has been.
I
Oh,
didn't rerun this.
I've broken something. Oh dear. All right. I'm just gonna have to say that's it for us. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I don't know what time zone you're in, but have a good day, good evening, good night, I guess. So from me, Alex. Goodbye. Every time, guys.
Bye.
Every time. Every time.
Bye. Bye.
What am I saying?
Goodbye.
Goodbye?
Bye. Have a beautiful time.
Why do we need to say bye? Just end the show. They'll go away.